عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. أما بعد. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, all praises be to Allah. We praise Him, we ask for His help, we ask for His forgiveness, we seek refuge with Allah from the weakness of ourselves and from the badness of our deeds. Whoever been given by Allah guidance, then nobody can be a misguider for him. Whoever been misguided by Allah, then nobody can be a guider for him. I bear witness there's no God worthy to worship except Allah, only Him, no associate for Him. And I bear witness that Muhammad, His messenger, His servant. O Allah, give good praise upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad. And give good praise upon Abraham and the family of Abraham. O Allah, bless upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad. Have blessed upon Abraham and the family of Abraham. Verily, you are most worthy of praises and most exalted in glory. Today, inshallah, we continue with our new topic. Last week, alhamdulillah, we finished the 32nd rule that is actually concerning وَلَنْ يُخْلِفَ اللَّهُ وَعْدَهُ, and Allah Ta'ala will never ever go against His promise. We finish that. So today, inshallah, we continue with the 33rd rule or quotes of Quranic quotes concerning soul and life. That is actually the saying of Allah, وَابْتَغِي فِي مَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. But seek through which Allah Ta'ala have given you the home of hereafter, and yet do not forget your share of this world. Seek through whatever Allah Ta'ala has given you, the home, Darul Akhirah, the home of hereafter, and but yet do not forget your share of this world. That's actually the saying of Allah from the surah of Qasas, verse number 7. So we read inshallah throughout the writing so that we will understand it more. He said here, Hadihi Qā'idatun Qur'aniyyatun. This is a Quranic rule. وضابط شرعية في مسألة حدث ولا زال يحدث فيها الخلل. And a guideline, a Shari guideline, a Islamic guideline in a matter that has happened before and still continuously happening in it, a mislead of misdeed from the human. Bisabi qusur aw taksir fi talamus lihuda hadil Qur'ani. It is because the lackness or shorten in getting the guidance of Quran. Fi tatbiqi tilkumul qa'idul Qur'aniyatu tilkumul Qur'an fi tatbiqi tilkumul Qur'an qa'idatil Qur'aniyati, in implementing the Quranic rule, this Quranic rule that we are reciting just now. That is actually wabtaghi fi ma ataka Allahu ad-darul akhirah. Seek with whatever Allah has given you. Seek with it the house of hereafter, the place for you in the last day. But yet do not wala tansa nasibaka min dunya, but yet do not forget your share of this world. It's concerning about to balance between the afterlife and this worldly matter. Okay. He said here, وَهَذِهِ الْقَاعِدَةُ الْقُرْآنِيَّةُ الْمُحْكَمَةُ جَاءَتْ فِي أَثْنَاءِ قِصَّةِ قَارُونَ. And this beautiful and fixed Quranic rule came while in mean of the story of Qarun. Qarun is known as the helper of Moses before. He was one of the people of Moses in Egypt. So he was given by Allah knowledge, and by the knowledge that Allah gave him, he get to gather abundant of wealth. He becomes so rich that Allah Ta'ala told us about the carrier of his throne or his wealth is actually being the vault is so big that the key to open the vault for his wealth must be carried by tens of men, big men, to carry the key only, not the gold, not what inside the vault or the treasure place that he have, but actually being carried out by that type of people. That is actually been mentioned in Surah Al-Naml, Surah Al-Naml, verse number 76. Verse number 70, Surah Al-Qasas, 76. Allah Ta'ala said, Inna Qarun, indeed Qarun, kana min qawmi Musa, he was from among people of Moses. Fabagha alayhim, but yet he tyrannized them. Wa atainah min al-kunuz, and we gave him and we gave him of treasure okay, he said here, wa atainah min al-kunuz, and we gave him of treasures ma inna mafatihahu, whose keys would burden gatanu bil usbati ulil quwwah, that the treasure key or the vault where he kept his treasure must be carried by big men, few big men, to carry only the key, not the treasure. You can imagine how big the place is. So Allah said about him. So the saying that we learn today, or the rule that we learn today, is actually related to him, to Qarun, the guy that was from, he is from the people of Moses, but he tyrannized his own people. He said here, alladhi gharrahu maluhu, that he being tricked, mesmerized by his own wealth. Wa gharrathu nafsuhu al-ammaratu bis-su', and he being tricked and mesmerized by his own self desire, that being always called towards badness. You know, our soul is like that. Inna nafsa la-ammaratun bis-su', that the soul of the human is always going towards the badness. So that's why Allah give us the mind or akal, for us to control our desire, not to follow our desire all the way. Faqala lamma qila lahu, he said here, lamma qila lahu, he said, Qarun answered when people said to him, wabtaghi fima ataka Allahu daral akhirah, seek with whatever Allah Ta'ala gave you, have given to you, seek with whatever Allah Ta'ala given to you, ad-darul akhirah, the house of the hereafter. Wala tansa nasibaka minad dunya, but don't forget uh, your share of this world. Wa ahsin kama ahsanallahu ilaik, and do good as Allah Ta'ala has done good to you. Wala tabghil fasada fil ard, and desire not corruption in the land. Inna Allah la yuhibbul mufsidin. Allah Ta'ala surely doesn't like those who do this destruction on this world. So his people was advising him, because he actually showing off all his wealth and using his wealth to tyrannize his own people. So his people start to say something to him to make him rethink about whatever he did. So Allah Ta'ala said in that ayah, faqala qawlatan mustakbir. Then he said a saying of arrogant of an arrogant person. As an arrogant person, he said, innama utituhu ala ilmin indi. He said that I was given this because of my knowledge. Innama utituhu, I was only given it because of the knowledge I have. That's why I get what I get. This is actually na'udzubillah min al-khudlan. May Allah Ta'ala protect us from the despair that happening to him, because he was so so trusting that his wealth is actually came from his own cleverness, or his own mind, his own judgment. Because we know that Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala is the one that giving you everything. So he forget about that. Then when he being advised by his people, he said that I get this because of what the knowledge that I have. It's not from Allah. He start to say something like that. Washahidu, and the witness of this, what do you want to learn from this story between Qarun and his people? Anna hadhil qa'idata hiya mizanun azim fi ta'amuli ma'al mal. That this rule, it is actually a great measurement, a great weighing scale in doing or having relationship with wealth. If you have wealth, then this is thing that you must think about, because Qarun failed with all the wealth that he have. He failed. Allah test him with the wealth, and he failed. Alladhi huwa mimma istakhlafa Allahu al-ibada alayhi. That is actually among things. The wealth is not everything. The wealth or the richness that you have is among things that Allah Ta'ala make it for you to govern it. It's not everything, because you also have your health, your position, your position in the society, your family, your wife, your daughter, your son, your relative. So that's also things that Allah Ta'ala given to you for you to govern. And the wealth is among it. It's not everything. Because sometimes people say that if I have everything, I have wealth, I have everything in this world. That is a wrong understanding. Because you know that if Allah Ta'ala give you everything in this world, you have the wealth to buy a car, to buy a house, to buy everything. But Allah Ta'ala make you become paralyzed. You know, only on your back, cannot move. So you don't have nothing. You don't even think that everything you have is enough. Even though you can buy anything, just you want something, say it, and somebody will give it to you. But still not able to move is also something that is actually will make you feel despair of living in this world. So it's among things that the wealth that among things that Allah Ta'ala make you to govern it. Walihada sayas'aluhum yawmal qiyamati anhu su'alain. Because of this, Allah Ta'ala will ask them, ask his creature, the humankind, the jinn, the two that will be asked by Allah. They will be asked about the wealth, two questions. Everything you have, like your strength, your youth, your energy you have, the time that you have, will always be asked, where did you spend it? But the money, the wealth that you get, will be asked for you two questions. Min aina iktasabahu, from where did you get it? Wa fima anfaqahu, iktasabahu, from where did you the person get it? Wa fima anfaqahu, and to what, in what that he spent the money, the wealth. Kama fil hadith alladhi rawahu Tirmidhi, as the hadith that been narrated by Tirmidhi wa ghayruhu, and other than him, min hadith Abi Barzah al-Aslami radhiyallahu anhu, from the hadith of Abu Barzah al-Aslami, is in the hadith of Tirmidhi, hadith number 2417. Okay, wa isnadu hasan fil bab an Ibn Mas'ud wa fi sanadihi ma dha'f. Okay, Abu Barzah is actually the chain of narration is quite strong, so it's acceptable. The other one is actually from Ibn Mas'ud, is weak. The chain of narration is weak. So anyway, the hadith is there that Allah Ta'ala will ask the humankind about his age, his lifespan, where did he about his youth, about his time, about his knowledge, strength, and also about his wealth. So all of it will have one question: to what or in what do you spend it? Only that the wealth will be asked two questions: from where did you get it, and in what do you spend it? Okay. Min ghairi ifratin wala tafrit. He say here, inna min a'zami mazaya hadha din wa mahasinihi, and it's among the greatest difference of this the greatest difference of this religion and its beauty is annahu dinun yad'u ila tawazun fi kulli shay, that it is actually a religion that calling towards balance in everything, to have balance in everything. It never ever told you to get all the richness that you have in this world, or the opposite, that you throw out everything that you have from richness that you have. It doesn't say something like that. It's always come in the middle. Okay, min ghairi ifratin wala tafrit, without lackness or without overcome or in everything. Wala ghulu wala jafa, wala ghuluin wala jafa'in, and without any extreme of doing thing or extreme in living everything. Fil amri dunya wa din, and it is actually not about the religion only, but also not about the worldly matter only. Even in the religion, in worshipping Allah, that also you have to careful about the balance of your life and about you worshipping Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Wa hadha ma tuqarriruhu hadhihi al-qa'idati biwuduhin wa jala'in, and this is actually what being put down by this rule with clear and bright explanation. Explain. That's actually wabtaghi fima atakallahu daral akhirah. Seek with whatever Allah Ta'ala has given you, the house of hereafter. Wala tansa nasibaka minad dunya, but do not forget your share of this world. Walau ta'ammalna hadhil ayata lawajadna tartibal kalami fiha ka'annahu aqdun nudhima ka ahsani ma yakun nazmi. If we actually look carefully into this ayah, we will surely get that, we find out that the position or the sequence of the words inside this ayah is actually, it's like a beautiful poem that is actually being arranged carefully. wabtaghi fi ma ataka Allahu ad-daral akhirata wa la tansa nasibaka minad dunya. You know, the words is so balanced, so beautifully being put there. It's not just random words. It's just not random words. It's have that beauty, as if it is actually inside the Quran. All the Quran is like that, because it's not the word of human, it's the word of Allah. That's why when you compare the words of Allah and the words of human, you will surely find the beauty inside the words of Allah, because it's word of the Creator. And we actually, whatever we say is as a creation. Our words will not be better than whatever Allah Ta'ala sent down to us. That is actually, it's so clear like that. فَهِيَ قَدْ اشْتَمَلَتْ عَلَى أَرْبَعَةِ وَصَايَا عَظِيمَةٍ. Okay. So the author said it's not really about the beauty of the words. It's because what inside the ayah. He said here that ayah containing is encompassing four great advices. Four great advices. Ahwajal insan ilaiha fi hadal maqam hum arbabul amwal. The most human in needs to that four things that are being said in that ayah in this situation is whoever own property owners. فَلْنَتَعَمَّلْ جَمِيعًا. Come and we look into one of it, one after another. The first one, al-ula, he said, وَابْتَغِي فِي مَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةِ. And seek which whatever Allah Ta'ala given you for the house of the last day, the house of hereafter. فَإِنَّ الْآخِرَةَ هِي الْمُسْتَقْبَلِ الَّذِي يَجِبُ عَلَى كُلِّ عَاقِلٍ أَنْ يَسْعَى لِلنَّجَاةِ فِيهَا. Because why being put there about the last day? Many people is actually talking about here and now. What are you working? Who are you paying you? What is your salary? Even I met somebody when we were in Yemen. This guy is actually quite outspoken. We students, when we came there in Yemen, some of our friends didn't took the SPM, the high school or the certificate of Malaysia, SPM, Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia, the certificate edition or education of Malaysia, because they go into the Arabic class, the Arabic stream. So all that he learned is always inside the book of Arab, not the syllabus of Malaysia. But the thing is, this guy, when he came to the student association house as a visitor, you know, he came, he take the microphone and start to talk. You know, when he talk, he start to aim a question. How are you worth? How you when you come and go back to Malaysia, how much do you think that you get from salary? You, how much? You, how much? You start to making the student feel uncomfortable. You know, you ask something, what is your value? What is your worth? What is your worth? It means that what salary can you get? By your situation, what can you get? What can you get? It's something like that. So when time of Q&A, I answered to him. I said, you actually because the word in Arabic, in Malay, we said you don't say that like that. We say tuan, encik, mister. But we in English I will translate it you. I said, you said to us, what is your value? You should not do something like that. First thing first, you have to know that these guys, these students, they are the last or the last defend of Islam. Because if you don't know what Allah Ta'ala told you in the Quran or in the Sunnah, they are the one will tell you about that. And if you feel that they are lacking from English usage in their studies, so when they came back into Malaysia, they cannot go into society because people always look down onto them because they don't know English. I said, if you really a rich person, then send somebody to teach them. You said that your car is like 700,000 thousand and everything. So I said, send somebody. If you really think that you are actually helping, don't do something like confusing everybody about saying how are you worth. Because the first thing first, these students, if they ever thought about learning to gain wealth, then Allah Ta'ala already make them as a hell dweller. They will go to hell. Because the Prophet ﷺ did say, in one of his hadith, the Prophet said, Man ta'allama ilman, whoever learn a knowledge, la yuta'allamu illa wajhillah, that the knowledge will not be learned except to get the face of Allah, to meet Allah. You know, you learn the knowledge that is for only for Allah. He learned that. فَيَتَعَلَّمُهُ لِيُصِيبُ بِهِ عَرْضًا مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. But he learned the knowledge to get something of worldly matter. لَمْ يَجِدْ رَائِحَةَ الْجَنَّةِ. He will not get the smell of the paradise. You know, the paradise, it has smell. The fragrance of smell of the paradise. And the Prophet did say in one hadith, the fragrance of the paradise can, achieve, can arrive to a distance of 70 years. 70 years of walking. You know, if you walk or you ride a horse, you are actually riding for 70 years. If the paradise is somewhere 70 years from your distance, you know, you go to Kedah 4 hours, you go to Kelantan and you 5 hours, you go to some places 3 days. This actually your journey 70 years. You can get the smell of the fragrance of the paradise. So the Prophet did say about that hadith, if whoever learn something that should be learned because of Allah, but he learned to get something from this worldly matter, lam yajid ra'ihat al-jannah, he will not get the fragrance, not entering the paradise, even the fragrance of the paradise will not be coming to him. You know, that distance means that so far away from the paradise, not achieving even 70 years of journey. So I said to him, why did you say something like that to the student? You are confusing them. How much are you worth? What is your value? What is your salary will be? Because those students are learning to protect the religion, so that the religion, the knowledge of Qur'an, knowledge of Hadith, whatever narrated by from the Prophet ﷺ, whatever being said by the companion about the deen or the religion, they should learn about that and be protector of Islam, so that Islam will not perish. You know, many of knowledge perish because there's nobody to be the successor of the knowledge. So those students going there for that, and you are confusing them to think about what is your value. Okay, when you go to learn to school, being taught that by learning you could improve or make it better your economy, means your status in the society will become higher, and you become getting more and more salary if you get the knowledge. But the problem is, you should firstly seek whatever for you in the last day. Whatever Allah given you, knowledge, strength, or time, or wealth, you should firstly think about what will this thing benefiting me in the last day. Why? Because فَإِنَّ الْآخِرَةَ هِيَ الْمُسْتَقْبَلُ الَّذِي يَجِبُ عَلَى كُلِّ عَاقِلٍ أَنْ يَسْعَى لِلنَّجَاةِ فِيهَا. Because the last day is the future that every sound mind person, every people that actually having a mind, you know, can think about himself, they must he must he must struggle for the safety on that last day. Because here, whatever happened to you is temporary. Even happiness is temporary. You know, you're happy, tomorrow you're sad. This day you sad, you cry, and next day you'll be happy, laughing. Do they laugh, and suddenly tomorrow you cry. That is the circle of this world. The last day, if you cry there or you laugh there, is for eternity. Be given situation for you to laugh there in the last day, or be given situation for you to cry. The cry or the laughter will be eternity. Not like this world. This world is temporary. So you have to always think about your whatever happened to you. Don't think that this is everlasting. Something will happen in the future. May stop that. You know, sometimes we look into during the PKP. Some of the restaurant, we like to eat at the restaurant. They have chain of they say franchise for that restaurant. Suddenly Allah Ta'ala make the COVID-19 happen in this world. Lockdown happened. So nobody went to the restaurant, and suddenly they have to close because they actually bankrupt. Cannot do anything after that. So we look into that. You know, nothing is forever. Even last time, you know, the chocolate Toblerone and okay, they put there the Mount of Matterhorn that is actually in Switzerland. So suddenly, they are using that continuously. In the future, they will not be using that anymore because they already opening their factory outside of Switzerland. So Switzerland actually stopped them from using that iconic mountain. So now new mountain will come. You know, no, nothing is everlasting. You see about the people, the pop music or band, rock music band. They will not stay there forever. Allah Ta'ala will stop them. Nothing is forever. For this world, if you put everything to get whatever in this world, you are actually in loss. Because nothing is forever. But for you to gain, to make sure that you are safe there in last world, that is priceless. That is for eternity. Think about that. That is because why the advice in this ayah, starting with وَابْتَغِي فِي مَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةِ. Seek with whatever Allah has given you. Seek what? The house of from the last day. The house of the last day. Not here. Your house there. Because your house here, you know, you have to paint it after 5 years, 6 years, the paint will be dull. You have to pay somebody to paint your house. All the furniture will crumble. The wood will be broken. The plastic will be not there anymore. Everything is not for everlasting. Not for everlasting. But the year after the last day, yes, that is for everlasting. And he must make whatever he have now, the world that he have now, as a beginning or introduction for what, preparation for what in the last day. What did you get here? Preparation for the last day. وَأَنْ يَجْعَلَ سَعْيَهُ فِي حَيَاتِهِ غَرَّاسًا يَوْمَ الْحَصَادِ. And he must have to make that whatever his struggle, his striving in this world as a plan that he planned today for him to harvest there. Whatever you do here, make sure that you will harvest it there. Everything, your smile, your laughter, your charity that you give, even the word that you utter, every word that you utter will become something there. If good, like you utter the word of Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, it become trees. It become trees in your paradise. Your tree in your paradise will be there by the tasbih and the takbir and the tahmid that you utter. So you do something here, make sure that you will harvest something there. Don't do something that you do here, nothing will get after that. That is wrong. وَقَارُونَ قَدْ حَصَلَ عِنْدَهُ مِنْ وَسَائِلِ الْغَرْسِ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مَا لَيْسَ عِنْدَ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ. And Qarun Qarun, he have gather with him from among the ways to plan something for the last day that is actually not being given to many people, because the wealth that he can gather. He have gathering that all the means for him to plan here, to plan for the last day. He have all the means, like we said. So the wealth that he have so big. And do you know that Qarun, the name Qarun, I forgot to tell you, the word Qarun in our Malay culture, anytime you found any treasure inside, being buried inside the soil, you will say harta karun. You thought that Qarun that being sunk in Egypt or whenever there in the Arabian Peninsula, his wealth came out in Malaysia. So they said that harta karun means that the wealth of Qarun. Even though, like being said, Qarun and whatever the wealth that he have is still going inside the bottom of the earth until today, going to the center of the earth until today. Daily he sang until he will arrive at the center of the earth. And when he and his wealth arrive at the center of the earth, the last day will happen. But you don't know where the body is situated right now. You don't know where the location of the body. So it's being sung from the time of Moses until today. So it means that when then he have all the means to plan for the last day, not given to many of the people. فَأَمَرَهُ اللَّهُ أَنْ يَعْمَلَ فِيهَا بِأَعْمَالٍ يَرْجُو فِيهَا مَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. Then Allah Ta'ala command him to work on his wealth that he have, with charity, with works that he can get in it. He hope in it, whatever with Allah, whatever the reward from Allah, he should have that connection, doing something here to get rid from Allah. Wa ayatasaddaqa wa la yaqtasira ala mujarradi nail syahwat. And he have to give away charity, and don't only shorten his wealth only to get the worldly desire, syahwat, wa tahsili al-ladhat, and to get enjoyment only. Not for that. You have to use your wealth to gain the please of Allah. So Allah will be pleased with you. But he didn't do that. He used all his wealth only to have his pleasure and enjoyment. Worldly pleasure and enjoyment. That is the first advice is about using whatever you have given by Allah for the last day, because the last day is for eternal. This worldly life is not for everlasting. Ammal wasiyatu thaniyatu fahiya. And the second advice is actually fahiya wala tansa nasibaka min dunya. And yet do not forget your share of this world. Wala tansa nasibaka min dunya. And do not forget your share of this world. He said, "Yawanahyu fi wala tansa nasibaka ala sabil ibahati." And actually, the forbiddance, the command of do not, in that ayah, wala tansa nasibaka, and do not forget your share, is actually ala sabil ibahati. Is actually from the not command. That means that Allah Ta'ala never command you to run after the world. But he said there, don't forget your share in this world. It's not as a command. If you forget your share, you are being sinful. You don't say something like that. Because in Islam, whenever Allah Ta'ala command us or told us to do something, we learn that some of it is obligatory, means wajib, must be do. And after that, haram, must be avoid. And after that is sunnah, means that mustahab, encouraged but not obligated to do. And makruh, that is encouraged to be avoid but not obligated. And lastly, what is free for you to do or not to do. So this command, wala tansa nasibaka minad dunya, and don't forget your share of this world, is actually a command of optional command. It's not to force, or not to force for you to do or to avoid. No. Okay. Because he said here, فَالنِّسْيَانُ هُنَا كِنَايَةٌ مِنَ التَّرْكِ, because the word nisyan, forget. Nisyan, nasya, yansa. Nisyan, the word nisyan, that is actually forget. He is actually as an analogy for leaving out, to leave out. But by saying don't forget, but doesn't say don't leave out. He say don't forget. Wal ma'na means that la nalumuka ala an ta'khudha nasibaka min dunya, means that we don't punish you or don't blame you for you to take your share of this world. If you take your share of this world, it's okay. Okay. Ay alladhi la ya'ti ala nasibil akhirati, that essentially doesn't come from the share of the last day. Wa hadha istirasun fi mau'izati khasyatat nufur al-mau'uzi min al-mau'izati al-wa'idhi. That is actually to take care in giving advice, because we are afraid that the soul, the self of the person being advised will run away from the advice being given by the advisor. You know, if you too harsh on saying about something, maybe the person will run away from you. Everything cannot, cannot everything. They start to run away, because the main goal or objective is for the person to know that he must do things that will please Allah, because everything Allah gave him in this world is for him to get his position, his place in the hereafter. So that is the first one. The first, the original command is for them to go there. But if you just going the right side like that, the person as a human, they have desires. You know, every human have desires. A man like woman, woman like man. You like children. We like wealth. We like the clothes that we wear, houses. You know, even if you have farm, you have cattle, you like that. Allah Ta'ala make inside the heart of the people loving something like that. So you cannot run away from things that Allah Ta'ala have made you to feel. So when you tell people to go and search for the last day, but you should also know that this guy have desire. So Allah Ta'ala give that, say that if you run away, you going towards the akhirah. But if you take your portion of this world, we don't blame you. That is actually for you. That is the meaning of wala tansa nasibaka minad dunya. Don't you forget your place or your portion or share of this world. It's not for you to command them to do. It's not commanding them to go. But many people, when they recite this ayah, they will only turn into the second part. You know, you doing this. You know, Allah Ta'ala said, wala tansa nasibaka minad dunya. Don't forget your share of this world. We have to have this world. So they want the world, so they use the second part. The first part, they forget it. About using everything to gain the place with Allah in last day. They don't think about that. They always think about this worldly matter. So for this here being said, that the words there is not encouraging you to go after the worldly matter. It's really about saying that if you on going to get your shares of this, to get your place in the last day, you go a little bit about your life or shares in this world, we don't blame you. It's okay. By saying that, it's okay. Okay. لأنهم لما قالوا لقارون, because that the first is very common. The second one is actually is for you. We don't blame you if you go a little portion of that. So you say here, لأنهم لما قالوا لقارون, because when they said to Qarun, وَابْتَغِي فِي مَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ, and seek with whatever Allah has given you, seek with it the house of the last day. Seek the house of the last day. أَوْ هَمُّ أَنْ يَتْرُكَ حُدُودَ الدُّنْيَا فَلَا يَسْتَعْمِلُ مَالَهُ إِلَّا فِي الْقُرُبَاتِ. When they said the first word, seek with whatever Allah has given you, the house of the last day, the house of hereafter, they almost given the thought that Qarun, must left all his shares of the worldly matter and do not use his wealth except for gaining closeness to Allah, Qurbat. Qala Qatadah bin Di'am as-Sadusi, one of the tabi'in, the student of the companion of Prophet, student of Ibn Mas'ud, Ibn Abbas. He learned the explanation of Quran from the Sahaba. Qatadah, nasibud dunya huwa al-halal kulluhu. The portion or the shares of dunya is everything that is halal for him. Everything halal, you take it, it's okay. What is haram, no. What is halal, you take it, it's okay. وَبِذَلِكَ تَكُنْ هَذِهِ الْآيَةُ, and with that, this ayah became مَثَلًا لِاسْتِعْمَالِ صِيغَةِ النَّهْيِ لِمَعْنَى الْإِبَاحَةِ. It become an example of usage of the form of forbiddance. Means that nahi, don't, but it doesn't mean don't in command, but to give option for the person. Bimakna al-ibahati is actually mean permissible for you to get something from the world. It doesn't mean that you should go to the world. You don't forget your shares of this world. Wamin litaba'id, and min, the word from, is for a part of. Wal murad bidunya na'imuha, and whatever being said there about dunya is actually about its pleasure. Fal ma'na nasibuka alladhi huwa ba'du na'imud dunya. Actually, then the meaning is your share that is actually some of the pleasure of the world, like having children, having wife, eating foods, something that is actually be permissible by Allah. Wa hahuna su'alun qad yatrahu ba'dun nasi. But here, there is some question that may being said by some people. There is actually question that may be said by some people. Wa huwa anal insan jubila fitratan ala hubbil mal. That a human being made by Allah originally to love wealth. You know, you have wealth, you love the wealth. Wa ta'alluqi bi shay'in mimma la budda lahu minhu fi hadhihi dunya, and also clinging to something from whatever he cannot run away from it of this dunya. He cannot run away anything, food or anything, because you have to have that. You have to have clothes, you have to have your house, you have to have everything. So from whatever you have, sometimes you cling to that thing more. Clinging to that thing, like some women clinging to the dress, the shoes. You know, shoe, oh, so beautiful. Only thinking about the shoes. A man maybe thinking about motorcycle, maybe thinking about things that is actually related to the world. Actually, because you actually, Allah make you like that. فَكَيْفَ أُمِرَ أَلَّا يَنْسَ نَصِيبَهُ. Then why being said by Allah there in that ayah, why being said there, the command, because we will love the wealth by nature. So why should you say something to a person, you want to stop them from going towards the worldly matter, to go to the akhirah? Why should you advise him, don't forget your shares of the dunya? Why? Wahwa amrun syabahul mustahil. And it's actually something that is actually almost impossible. Bal mutawaqqa'un an yuqal wala tansa nasibaka min al-akhirah. Even actually that should be said. Actually, we thought that should be said, don't you forget your shares of the last day. Why should we say, don't you forget your shares of this world? Because this world, if you don't advise them not to forget, they will not forget. People will not forget the shares of this world. Will always run into the worldly matter. So why should you advise them? Okay, to that. Fal jawabu, the answer, wallahu ta'ala a'lam bimuradihi, but Allah Ta'ala is most knowing about its means, but we can try to explain. Anna hadil ayata ja'at li dabtil tawazun, that this ayah came to fix the balance between two. Kama aslafna, as been said before, fi ta'amuli ma'azinatid dunya, in carefully to treat to have your connection with the adornment of this world, the beauty of this world. Wa min dhalika, from among it, al-mal, that's actually the wealth. Faqad yasma'u ahadu tujari aw athriya misla hadhil mau'izati fa yazunnu an al-qasda at-takhalli ay yatakhalla an kulli shay. Because somebody, when they heard the first advice, seek with whatever Allah have given to you, seek with it the house of the last day. Some of the people, he said, or maybe one of the merchant or any wealthy person, when they heard the command or the advice from this ayah, then he may thought that the goal or the objective, that he must left out everything from the pleasure of the world, worldly pleasure. Walau kana mubahan, even though it is actually permissible. Mubah, something that is permissible for him to marry a woman, for him to have children, for him to have a farm, for him to have a cattle. It says something that is actually should not be stopped. But because of that first advice, somebody or some of them may thought that the Quran is commanding them to leave out everything, even though it is permissible. فَيُقَالُ لَهُ, then it being said to him, وَإِنْ أُمِرْتَ بِأَنْ يَكُونَ جَلَّ هَمُّكَ الْآخِرَةِ. And actually, even if you've been commanded to be your biggest concern is the last day, فَلَسْنَا نَطْلُبْ مِنْكَ تَرْكُ مَا أَبَاهَ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى. But we don't request from you to left out whatever been given permission by Allah Ta'ala. Bal matlubul ad. Then, but actually, even the thing that being we seek here is actually to be fair or just. And to give everybody that's the right, it's right. Because if you left out everything from this worldly matter, then you will neglect your wife, your children, your neighbor, your guest. Everybody will lose their right, because you are actually just going somewhere to just get the pleasure of Allah. So you will left out the right of people around you. But if you go to pleasure people and forgetting Allah, that is actually a disaster also. So two types of disaster. Then the command is actually because to make sure that you have balance. Okay. وَلِهَذَا كَانَ مِنْ بَدِيءِ تَفْسِيرِ الْإِمَامِ مَالِكِ لِهَذِهِ الْآيَةِ. And because of this, from among the beauty, the beauty of the explanation by Imam Malik for this ayah, Anqala, that he said, Huwal aklu wa shurbu min ghairi israf. It is actually to eat and to drink without any waste. If they, we are entering Ramadan, this is something that must be told to everybody. Don't waste any food. If you want to buy something that you will eat. Not more than that. If you buy more, then something will happen. The waste will happen. You're wasting your food. even though the food is actually can be given to others. Wallahu alam, in Malaysia it's actually different from the Arab country. You know, the Arab country, sometimes when you see they are eating one whole lamb on the on the rice, big plate, big not plate, what you say, tray, big tray. On the tray there is so much food, but they some people say that, oh, they will surely waste. The problem is their way of life is not like that. They will eat. The first one, the owner of the house, the his family will eat. After that, they will go out, and the second group will come. Maybe the helpers, drivers, security guard will come and eat. And after that, people, poor people will be waiting outside the house. They will pack it nicely and give it away to them. Actually, nothing is waste. And they like if you go to Saudi Arabia and few countries, the Gulf countries, they actually putting refrigerator or chiller for people that have food that is actually they cannot finish, to put it there, and people that want to eat can take it just like that. Refrigerator chiller that you come and take away. But I know that some people say that for hygienic purpose, you should not share your food with others, especially in the time of COVID-19. Wallahu alam. But the way that actually we doing it today, thinking about the disease that is spreading in this world, and not to share or to eat. People will surely get that from other places, but from that food actually, they will not, inshallah, get anything, because they are doing that from before the COVID-19 until today. But their numbers is not like ours, who are not sharing our food. You're not sharing our food, but you have that problem. They are sharing their food, don't have any problem. So you surely understand that sometimes you being afraid of something being said, but without proof. It is logical inside your head, but not happening in reality. So they are sharing their food. So they put there, the food is not being waste. So they came to the chiller. The poor people can see there is lamb mandi, chicken mandi, everything there. So people put in the chiller. Whoever want to eat, just come there and reheat the food after that. So they don't waste. We in Malaysia, when we buy something, many things, murtabak, roti john, nasi ayam, nasi minyak, everything you buy, and actually last in the end you waste. So Imam Malik said that eating is actually the meaning of when being said to the person, wala tansa nasibaka minad dunya, and then don't you forget your shares of this world. Means that this actually eating, drinking without any waste. Fahuwa yushiru bihadha ila ma dhakarnahu anifa. Then he actually, Imam Malik is pointing out to whatever we said just now. It's not a command for you to run towards the world, but just to take anything that is halal for you is permissible. Wal ilmu indallah, and the knowledge is with Allah. Walaqad waqa'a fi ahdi Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it start to explain why the advice is there for you to not forget about this, your share in this world. He said here, walaqad waqa'a fi ahdi Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and happened in the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him, min ba'di sahabati, from among the companion, may Allah Ta'ala pleased with them, khalalun fi fahmi haqiqati zuhdi wa ta'abbudi. There is actually lackness or miss in understanding the reality of zuhud and ta'abbud. Zuhud means that you always think about the last day, not really worry about this world. Even some of the scholars said that you believe in whatever in the hand of Allah, meant that whatever is in your hand. That is called as zuhud. Means that the person doesn't really afraid of anything to lose in this world, because he know that Allah Ta'ala is giving everything to him. That is the thing called zuhud. But some people in our time, things that zuhud means that you don't have television, you don't have car, you don't have motorcycle, you don't have clothes, you don't have everything. Your clothes is one clothes only. One clothes that you have, that is actually called as zuhud. So some of people thought like that. Thought like if you have worldly matter, you have handphone, then you are actually not a zuhud person. But this day, even the most actually said as sane by the Sufi followers of this world, say this is the sane. Say the sane that the person that they said is the sane, the most zuhud person in this world are using mobile phone and texting each other. It's something that actually you cannot run away from that. So meaning of zuhud is not like being understood wrongly by some people, because before Islam, there are people doesn't want to marry, doesn't want to have anything, like Buddhist monk. You know, Buddhist monk, even though you can see that they have a good beard because they are training every day, like the Shaolin monk. They are training every day, but they cannot go to work. They must eat only from charity. Even though their body is so tough, but they must bring a bowl to ask charity from people, because that is the way they want to make people to become humble. Because their philosophy, you become arrogant when you own something. If you don't own something and you only get from others, then you will not become arrogant. So that is what they are doing right now. But can you imagine what will happen if everybody is living on charity? Who will give charity to the people that living like that? You cannot. So sometimes they put away everything, shave their head, and doesn't want to have any connection with the worldly matter. That is what being taught before about that. And ta'abbud, to worship Allah. How to, you have 24 hours. How many hours you have to give to Allah? How many hours? You have 24? 12. 12 hours. How much you want to give away to Allah? So this actually, that lack of understanding in the time of the Prophet happened. Hina sa'alu an ibadatin Nabi, when they asked about the worship of the Prophet, the act of worship of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And when they being answered by the wife of the Prophet, they listen to the how the Prophet pray at night, how he fast, how he slept, how everything. So they said, it's so little. These people, 3 people, came to the wife of the Prophet asking how the Prophet worship Allah. So they want to imitate or to follow the way the Prophet ﷺ worship Allah. So what happened? They think it's so little. So little. I can do that. I can do that. What the Prophet did, because the Prophet have wives. Have wives. And actually going with the people, always meeting people and having eating and everything with the people. So they said, so little. Faqalu, and they said, Aina nahnu minan Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Where our position from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Faqad ghafarallahu lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbihi wa ma ta'akhkhara, because Allah have forgiven for him whatever from his sin, whatever past and present from his sin has already been forgiven by Allah. How are we to compare our position to the Prophet? Means that when you see the Prophet doing things so little, that is because he was forgiven. We are not forgiven yet. So we must do something more than the Prophet. That is the thinking. Faqala ahaduhum. Then one of them said, Amma ana fa inni usalli laila abada. This first person said, I will pray at night forever and ever. Means that I will not sleep at all at night to pray to Allah, to send up, to do my prayer all night long, every day, as my life continues. Second one said, فَقَالَ الْآخَرُ Ana asumu dahra wala uftiru. I will fast for the whole year and I will not break my fast. Wa qala al-akharu, and the third one said, Ana a'tazilun nisaa. I will avoid women. Fala atazawwaju abada. I will not marry ever, forever. Faja'a Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam faqala, and then the prophet, the messenger of Allah came and he said, Antum alladhi kultum kada wa kada. Are you those who said this and this? So they said yes. The prophet said, Amma ana, surely I. If you say something, but I, wallahi, by Allah, in the name of Allah, that I am la akhshakum lillah wa atqakum, the most feared towards Allah among you and the most pious towards Allah among you. There's nobody afraid of Allah than me. Well, if you combine, I am the one that most afraid of Allah. I am the most pious towards Allah. It's not for the Prophet to live up his position, but to make sure that those people understand that this act that been done by the Prophet, the way he's worship Allah, he is the most highest in fear towards Allah than anybody else. So nobody should be more than him, because that is the threshold or the limit that somebody that everybody have to take care of. Walakinni asumu aftiru. Even though I am the most feared person towards Allah, the most pious person to Allah, but I do fast, but I break my fast. There are days that I fast, day I do not fast. Wa usalli wa arkudu, and I wake up at the night and I also sleep. The Prophet didn't wake all night long. He take a portion of his rest. Sometimes he slept after Isha, and after last third of the night, he wake up and start to pray. You know, at least when we say about 4 hours, maybe from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 3.5 hours, the Prophet ﷺ will start to pray until Fajar. Even before Fajar, he rests a little before continue to go to Salat Fajar. He doesn't go like that, rushing and waiting with sleepy eye. No, he have the sleep. Some people say that, oh, this guy doesn't sleep at all. The Prophet said, I wake up, I pray and I sleep. Wa atazawwajun nisa, and I marry women. I marry women. You know, I do marry women. But I am the pious, the most feared person to Allah, the most pious person to Allah. Among you, there's nobody more fearing Allah than me. Nobody. Faman raghiba an sunnati, whoever doesn't like my sunnah, my way, falaysa minni, he's not from me, from my people. So the Prophet stopped them, because these guys, like I said, when you go into religion and you left out the right of people around you, your wife, your children, your neighbor, your guest, your society, that is wrong, because Allah Ta'ala make you to live in this world, not for you to and give you everything to go towards the last day, but not lefting out whatever is supposed to for you to be in this world. So that's why the Prophet said, whoever doesn't like my way, falaysa minni, he is not from me. Wa bihadzal manhaj tawazun al-mabni ala al-kitab wa sunnati kana aimatus Islam. And with this discipline, the balanced discipline that being built upon the kitab, the book, Quran, and the sunnah, upon this discipline, all the imam of Islam, you know, all the imam of Islam from among the companion, they married, they have children, they have wealth, they, you know, they're leaving this world. They are living a life in this world, not just staying inside the cave, doesn't have any children, doesn't have any wife. No, they are living this world, living the life of this world, living the life of this world. They are not separating the world from their life. Okay. Wa ulama millati yarudduna ala man ahdathahu ba'da zuhad. And the scholars of this religion, they answered back, or they push back whatever upon alama ahdathahu ba'd az-zuhad wa ubad, whatever being fabricated or innovated or improvised by some of the people called as zuhad, doesn't want dunya, want akhirah only, whatever they actually creating new things in this Islam, not the thing that the Prophet ﷺ did. And ubad, people who love worship Allah. Worshipping Allah is good, but you have to know that the right of people around you. Min alwanil min al-tahazahudi, from among many colors of tazahud, means that avoiding worldly matter. Allati tujafi hadhil huda an-nabawi, that is actually avoiding or going away from this prophetic, great prophetic guidance, because the Prophet ﷺ is giving you the guide. He giving that 3 guys the guide. I pray, I sleep. I fast, I break my fast, and I marry women. You don't say that I don't want to follow the Prophet. That is so wrong. Okay. وذكر بعض العلم ملمحا لطيفا ملمحا لطيفا في توجيه هذا المعنى. And some of the scholar, they mention mulmihan latifan, a small distraction fi tawjihi ma'na qawlihi, in channeling the meaning of the saying of Allah, wala tansa nasibaka minad dunya, don't you forget your shares, but yet don't you forget your shares of this world. Wa huwa anna Allah azza wa jalla, that is Allah azza wa jalla, arada an yaj'ala ad-dunya shay'an hayyinan, that he want to make the world as something that is actually easy, mu'arradan linisyan wal ihmal, that is actually open for forgetfulness and also to be abandoned. Fahuwa yudhakkiruna biha, then he reminded us with it. Wa yahuthuna ala an na'khudha minha binasibin, and he encouraged us to take from the dunya with a share. Fa ana la aqulaka, as he is saying that I didn't say to you, la tansa shay'al fulani, don't you forget things, the certain things, these things, illa idha kuntu a'lamu annahu urdatan linisyan, except that because I know that it will be exposed to forgetfulness. Actually worldly matter, even though you actually using that, you actually forget many things that Allah Ta'ala given you in this world. You really think about what Allah Ta'ala given you to you, from the health that you have, from something that's from the wealth that Allah Ta'ala gave you. Sometimes you forget, because whenever you being tested by Allah with sickness, you start to forget the whole 30 years that you have become a healthy person, that Allah Ta'ala didn't make you to suffer any great pain or sickness. Suddenly Allah Ta'ala give you 3 days or 1 week, you forget everything that Allah Ta'ala gave you. You forget. And even people that you love, you forget. You forget about them. They actually are there with you, but you forget them one by one. Forget about your brother, your sister, your uncle, your auntie. Even though when you are small, you actually really close with them. You think about that. Where are they? Actually, somebody that came to me, she said that she cannot forget things that actually happened to her. She really feel hurt by something that Allah Ta'ala taken from her, her newborn child, or actually it's a miscarriage happened. Oh, the child is actually alive and died. I don't know which one, but anyway, she came to me. I said that Allah Ta'ala is actually giving you things in this world and taking it away for you. If you really think you do forget many things you forget. I said, like when you think about your place in the paradise, you will forget whatever you left in this world. So she said, how can I will always remember my child? She said like that. So I said, did you have any good friend, best friend when you are small? When you are small, you going to the school. Don't you have any best friend? I said, she said, yes. Where is your best friend right now? Suddenly she said, she forget. You know, you sometimes you have good friend or best friend, BFF, best friend forever, best friend forever. These days they are using that terms. But when you go into another level, you know, from high school, your middle school, high school, and you go to college, university, and you go to work, that all the stages of life will make you forget whatever before. So like I said to her, because she said that, will she remember her child inside the paradise? I said, Allah Ta'ala will give you in paradise things that will make you forget everything. You will not remember even your husband. If you are separated from him, you will not remember him. So she doesn't understand. So I said to her, did you have any best friend before? She said yes. And then I said, where is your best friend now? Suddenly she stopped. Then she said, yes. The forgetfulness that Allah Ta'ala give you, because you gain something new, you forget the old. So like in this ayah, because Allah Ta'ala know that we will forget. We will forget. Whatever Allah Ta'ala give us, we will forget. That's what Allah Ta'ala told us not to forget. And person that is not forgetful of the pleasure or the blessing that Allah Ta'ala gave him will always feel gratitude towards Allah. Always think that Allah Ta'ala gave me goodness. That and that and that and that. He count, so many. So he will start to remember Allah more. That is the other way you want to understand. When Allah Ta'ala said, وَلَا تَنْسَى نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. Don't you forget your portion or your shares of this world. Okay? وَهَذَا جَانِبٌ جَانِبُ الْوَسَطِيَّةِ وَالِاعْتِدَالِ فِي Islam. And it is actually from among the side of middleness, wasati, and just in Islam. To make sure that they actually balance in Islam. So Allah Ta'ala told you not to forget. Wallahu a'lam bi muradihi, but Allah Ta'ala is the one who is knowing about its meaning. Okay, so that is the number 2. Number 3, from this ayah also Allah Ta'ala said, wa ammal wasiyatu thalithatu, and the third advice is wa ahsin kama ahsanallahu ilaiki, and do good as Allah Ta'ala has done good to you. You know, Allah Ta'ala make good things to you, and do good to others. Because Allah will always making you having goodness for you to really think that if Allah Ta'ala give me goodness, I will do goodness to others. Like that. وَهَذَا يَتَّفِقُ تَمَامًا مَعَ الْعَقْلِ وَالشَّرْعِ. And it is actually, this advice is really يَتَّفِقُ, means that really going along exactly with the akal, the mind, and also the shara, the religion, both of it, because you will do good for whoever doing good to you. Qala Allah Ta'ala, Allah Ta'ala said in the Quran, in Surah Ar-Rahman, verse number 60, Hal jaza'ul ihsani illa al-ihsan. Is it not the reward for mercy or goodness, though to be mercy, illa al-ihsan, if not mercy also? Means that you have mercy to others, Allah will have mercy upon you. If it's not like that, it's a question. If not like that, and how? Because Allah Ta'ala will have mercy upon you if you have mercy upon others. That is the way that you have to have. Wal-ihsanu dakhil fi umul ibtigha'i dar al-akhirah. And to be merciful, to have mercy and to do good, actually is inside the generalness of finding or seeking the house of the last day. Walakinnahu dhukira huna liyabniya alayhi ihtijaju biqaulihi. Then actually, but here it's actually mentioned here, even though it is inside. Doing good is inside ibtigha' dar al-akhirah. You want to find the house of the last day, to seek that, you have to do good. But here is mentioned separately. So that it will be making as an argument an argument, wa ahsin kamallahu ahsanallahu ilaik, is actually to argue with Harun, because he is not making good to his people. So because Allah Ta'ala do good to you, then do good to others. Don't make anybody else terrible because of you. Wal-kafu litashbih, and the kaf is for comparison. As Allah Ta'ala do good to you, done good to you. Ay ka ihsanillahi ilaik, as the good that being done to you by Allah. You have to do good to others also. Wa hadhil ayatu fiha min at-ta'lil wal haddi ala ma huwa zahirun. And this ayah, in it, there is actually a reason and also encouragement to what is actually clear. وَهِيَ كَقَوْلِهِ تَعَالَى, and it is actually similar to the saying of Allah in Surah An-Nur, verse number 22. وَلْيَعْفُوا وَلْيَصْفَحُوا. They have to forgive. They have to forgive and to reconcile. أَلَا تُحِبُّونَ أَنْ يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. Don't you like Allah to forgive you? Forgive for you. Wallahu ghafurur rahim, and Allah Ta'ala is most forgiving and most loving. This ayah is actually being said to Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radhiyallahu anhu, when he actually when Aisha being accused of something she didn't did, there is actually with Safwan bin Mu'tal, they say because Aisha being left in the war, she is following the Prophet, so she went out from her tent, small tent being put on the top of the camel. So she went out, and people doesn't realize she went out. She want to find her necklace. The necklace fell, and she want to find it. But the people, when they put the small tent on the top of the camel, it's actually they didn't realize Aisha is not there. Or in some narration, she went to qada hajat, means that to toilet. So people doesn't realize that she is not there. So when the army, all of them went back to Medina, but they always send back somebody to go back to see if something being left. So that guy, Safwan bin Mu'tal, he went there and saw Aisha. He said, Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un, and he brought her back. When he brought her back from that place to Medina, so people, the hypocrites start to create stories. So he created stories, and the stories been spread throughout Medina, saying that Aisha is not good anymore, not doing good. So one of the people who spreading the news is a relative of Abu Bakr. His name was Mistah bin Asasa. So he's spreading that story. So when Allah Ta'ala, Abu Bakr keep quiet. The Prophet also keep quiet until Allah Ta'ala revealed that whatever they say about Aisha is wrong. Allah Ta'ala purified Aisha from the top of the 7 skies, 7 heaven. Not everything, not every ayah, part of it. So that is the part, accusation being done to Aisha. Yes, the few ayah on the front is accusation. You want to accuse somebody of fornication, everything. You have to have 4 witnesses. No 4 witnesses, everybody will be lashed, 80 lashes. So Aisha keep quiet. So when Allah Ta'ala purified her, then Abu Bakr anhu make a promise to Allah that he will stop whatever expenses he gave to Mistah bin Asasa. Then Allah Ta'ala revealed this ayah to him, saying that don't you like Allah Ta'ala to forgive you? This ayah number 22, Surah An-Nur. Allah Ta'ala told him to forgive and to reconcile. Ala tuhibuna an yaghfirallahu lakum. Because he start to want to stop everything that he gave to Mistah bin Asasa. He don't want to give it anymore because he related to spreading the bad story about Aisyah radhiyallahu anha. Then he said here, فَكَمَا تُحِبُّ أَنْ يَعْفُوَ اللَّهُ عَنْكَ, as you like Allah Ta'ala to forgive you, فَعْفُ عَنْ إِبَادِهِ, then forgive everybody else. Forgive his servant. وَهُنَا كَمَا تُحِبُّ أَنْ يُحْسِنَ اللَّهُ إِلَيْكَ رَبُّكَ, and here, as you like Allah to